up as attachments a bunch of different reference sheets like this to help you out with different emotions, how to build a character, types of characters, and a bunch of examples of regular and famous characters. But here's an example of the one that I did almost finished, okay? Okay, the character's name is Peyton. I have a full body, and then I have 3 different versions of the head focused on the emotion, and then I have a color scale at the side for the colors that I'm using. It's about 3/4 of the way done, okay? And I'm going to show you how I came up with this, and I'm going to go backwards. That's what I mean by reverse engineering, okay? So the first thing we're going to do in order to get to that end point is start with a sketch. Any scrap paper, extra paper, back of whatever, you can do your sketches, okay? So the idea is here you're brainstorming. One of the things you can do is start with simple shapes, okay? So we could start with the circle. And then let's say we want to turn that into a humanoid character, okay? We could have it turned a little. Maybe we'll give it just kind of button eyes with cheeks. And then we're going to give him, or her, whatever, a very rounded nose. And then we're going to make it extremely happy character. And then for the ears, what I'm thinking is we're going elf ears. Some curly hair. Throw on an elf hat. Put a little bell on the end. Now I got an elf character, okay? You can do other things too, like you could just start with a basic shape if you're stumped, and you could just go, okay, well there's a square. There's some eyeballs. There's an angry brow. That's kind of an angry character. And guess what? He is actually a cell phone. Because we started with that block, trying to think of what he could look like. Maybe he is a cell phone. Okay, or we can start with more circles. We can try different types of eyes. Okay, maybe we smash them together. Okay, we want this person to be maybe surprised. We could raise the eyebrows up. We could stretch the mouth. Whoa, surprised. Okay, add different types of ears, different hairs. Okay, could be spiky. All right, that's going to look more like a kid. It could be a dog, a cat. One of the things I usually find is that the best artwork, whether that's a book or a painting, tends to come from life. So one of the things that I thought of when I came up with the idea for Peyton was my own dog. And that's his name. He's a chocolate lab. So when I was first starting to sketch these ideas out, and I was kind of stumped, that was like the first thing that I thought of was, well, maybe I could turn Peyton into a character. So I just kind of sketched him out. So the first thing you do is brainstorm, okay? Once you try to find one, you go, okay, well, I don't really like the cell phone. I really like the idea of doing my dog Peyton. Well, now you have to figure out what's it going to look like from different angles, okay? So if he was sad, how is he going to look? Okay, maybe we turn the face a little bit. Okay, we'd push those eyebrows out. We'd turn his frown upside down, or turn his frown down. Maybe put a tear. Okay, he's sad, he's crying. What would it look like if he was straight on? If you were looking straight at his face? His nose would be big, right up front. See his eyes more out the side. See his mouth. So what I'm doing is brainstorming, picking a character, then starting to hash out the different angles, because the assignment, as it will say in the steps, is going to require you to have 4 different views. Okay? One of those has to be the full body. The other ones have to be the expressions. Okay? So you're going to get a final copy paper, either from me or a nice clean white paper on your own. And what you're then going to do is decide how you lay this thing out, okay? One size does not fit all. If you would like to move stuff around, you could totally do that, all right? What you saw in mine was I put a scale in the left-hand corner. You can put it in any corner, horizontal, vertical, I don't care. It's basically just a rectangle. And you're going to kind of leave it empty because right now I don't know how many colors I'm going to use. Eventually, I can section that off into each individual color. Next thing I have to do is come up with a name for the character. For instance, my dog's name is Peyton. So that's what I'm going to call this. So you're going to put the name in bubble letters. That means they have to be a shape. We've already gone over that. Somewhere towards the top. It's also going to say by, and then your first name and your last name because you're the artist. In the rest of the space, you are going to put those 4 different views. Okay, so I'm going to start really light and sketch out a full body version of my cartoon character. Now, again, it could be a superhero. It could be a cartoon character. It could be an animal. It could be a human. It could be an alien. It could be an inanimate object. It is totally up to you what type of character it is. Anime, superhero, or it could be in a certain style. Oh, there's the bell. Certain style, like the style of The Simpsons, or Family Guy. It's Matt Groening style. It's totally up to you, or it could be your own unique style. Now, in the other areas here, what I'm going to do is start to sketch out different versions of emotions, or maybe add in a little turn too. So what we're talking about when we're done, obviously this isn't finished, but I showed it to you at the beginning, is a model sheet that contains the following objects. The name in bubble letters with your name as the artist or cartoonist. A value scale or color scale of the colors that you are going to use. A full body version of the character. 3 other close-up big views, turn, straight on, left, right, back. Back usually isn't the best, but some other view where you can see the emotion of the cartoon character. Then what you're going to do, once you have that all laid out in pencil, you're going to get out your trusty markers and or colored pencils, and you're going to start to add color. Okay? And what we're going to do is add the color in, starting with the marker. You can leave the white white. If you're doing any shading, you would do that towards the end. I would start just with flat marker. And if you use the color, then you have to put the color in the color scale to indicate that you've used said color. Okay? So like if I'm going to do orange on the collar, orange goes over here as well. All right? The one thing I would also like to do is outlining in permanent marker. So whatever black you have, Sharpie, any sort of brush pen, like a felt tip permanent marker, you're going to start by doing the outlining. Okay? I kind of rushed into the color there because it's the fun part. Try to do the pencil first. Get those drawn on there really well. Then you want to kind of do the inking. Like so. And this is where we're going over our lines and making them black. Now, if something is totally black, at this point, you could fill those things in, as long as it's a permanent marker. And you're going to give that a chance to soak in, and then, like I said, go back to the marker, like I was showing you there. Now, the other thing you can do is you can do some shading with some colored pencils over the top of that to give it a little bit more depth or detail if you want. So if I want them to look more furry or have like a highlight kind of up here on the eyebrow, I could take like a lighter tan here, shade that, and you can see that makes that look a little bit more three-dimensional. Gives it a little bit more of a pop there. I could also take a darker color, maybe put a little shadow underneath the ear. That's going to start to make that look more three-dimensional. And we got another bow. I guess I got to wrap it up here. What I'd like to do is show you a couple of other student examples so you get a feel, and a couple of my other examples so you get the idea of what I'm talking about, okay, for your final model sheet. There is a student example. Bama the banana. The pyramid. The crocodile. Hanoshimori. He's a dragon. Believe it or not, I did one of myself. Okay. There's another student one. Prismic Pierce. He's a diamond. He changes color. Anyway, you get the idea. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a chat or come on up to my desk and we'll work out any problems you have. Again, I would start with sketching and then we'll get the final copy paper. Start to draw it out in pencil. Ink it, then add your color. Good luck, everybody.